Welcome to another episode of Unraveling Intellectual Property with Michael Stein. Today we're going to be speaking with Pierodavide, but I'm going to call you PD as you're well known from Leardi, Studio Leardi. And we had a very nice discussion about IP protection in Europe. But let's continue that discussion. Uh, you mentioned about filing trademarks in Europe, but also in individual countries. Why would you consider one versus the other? Why would you maybe do both?
Sure. The thing I always tell my client is this, generally it's very relating on the actual extent of your business. Um, the main concern, again, as we discussed, and even if I said that it doesn't happen always, but if you plan to have a small business which is limited to only one country or a couple of countries, you might be willing to consider a national trademark application. That is the main reason why you might be willing to do that. Another reason that happens more often is that if you just discover that some countries are already covered by someone else's trademark, and you cannot use the trademark that you are willing to use in that country. For example, a client of mine is free to use his trademark in Italy, whereas in Spain, we have someone else that is already there with almost an exact trademark for the same products. So
No, I'm just for the Spanish company, do they just have a national trademark? So
sure,
they don't have a European trademark.
that they don't have a
Yeah,
European
right. Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
they're
okay,
both. Otherwise, should they have had a European Union trademark, the European Union trademark would cover also Italy. So
right,
thus
okay, all right.
preventing third parties to be. So, but if you have IP rights only in Spain, there might be someone else that has and that can use the same thing in Italy, as the two jurisdictions are separate, even if they're in the EU.
Right.
Okay. And the reason you might be willing to do both, it's again, maybe over protecting your interests. In Italy, we have a very specific reason because we have a very tiny part of the Italian IP code that allows the holder of an Italian trademark registration to prevent others from using the same name as a company name. So this allow you more easily to avoid also the use of your trademark as a company name. You can get more or less the same if you hold a European Union trademark, but you can get that not as easily. But aside from that, having both is generally a matter of exceptions. No, it's something you don't use. You tend not to do.
Right. I guess it's kind of like insurance. How much insurance do you get? You
Exactly,
know, how
exactly.
comfortable are you kind of thing.
Exactly.
I would just,
In
yeah,
other cases, it is also true that the Italian examiners are less attentive as the EU examiners. So maybe a trademark that can be descriptive or deceptive, maybe it won't pass at EU level, and maybe you can get an Italian registration.
okay. So you're talking about these two different types of systems.
Yeah.
Before filing and making a decision, do you generally do searches and to both the EU and each national country, and you're looking through 27 different uh,
Jurisdictions and
jurisdictions?
views.
But I mean, with now with computers and stuff, I mean, back in the day, but
Yeah.
I'm guessing with computers, it's not all that overwhelming. But
It is because, I mean, words are a limited number, and appealing words are a limited number. And yes, we do searches each and any time our clients are willing to start using a new trademark, even before deciding if we can file a trademark application. And again, for us, it can be quite challenging to do a thorough search at EU level because it's going to be very expensive, to be honest, because you have to consider 27 jurisdictions. And, trademarks need to take into consideration identical trademarks, similar trademarks, and also for identical or similar products, or also identical or similar products that are well known but can only but are registered or used for different products. So we do them, and when you are willing to go at EU level, those searches can be very complex. So we tend to do them step by step, starting from identities, and then from that deciding how to enlarge the search in terms of similarity.
All right, let me ask you this question. I'm a U.S. company, filing U.S. Let's say I go with the Madrid Protocol. I designate the
EU.
EU. Let's say the EU application, there's an examination, and will they examine, in that instance, if let's say they find a registration in Spain, will they reject the EU application based on a registration in Spain? And then to follow up on that, is it possible to convert the EU application into national applications?
That is exactly as you said it. You start with, yeah. After all, you're a professional,
No,
so
but you're the European professional, so let everyone hear from your mouth, not mine.
sure, absolutely. It is exactly as you said it. You file the EU application via the Madrid system. When it gets examined, if there is an absolute, a relative ground for refusal, there is going to be an office action, and if your trademark is rejected because a part of Europe is already covered by someone else, you can divide your EU application in several national applications, which is a hard work to do. You don't want to have it. But that's how it works. Generally, you try to find an agreement just to avoid this thing. Maybe saying, okay, I will be allowed to have a European Union trademark, but I will not enter into your market, for something like that, just to
And
be
is
practical.
that a consent agreement with the
A consent
party?
agreement, yes,
Okay,
yes.
not with the EU.
With the holder of the national trademark application that is ground for refusal.
Okay,
And yeah,
yeah. So let's say we want to cover a couple of these non-EU European countries, or
such as
great.
Switzerland, for example.
Okay, so is there a way to just add on, or do I have to file
No,
separately?
no, no, no. You need to go via the Madrid system. So via the Madrid system. So what we do is we file a European Union application, and then we file an international trademark application via the Madrid system, and we select all the countries that we need, mainly Principato di Monaco, Switzerland, UK.
I guess those are the
Yeah, the main.
major ones,
Yes.
although
Yeah.
Monaco,
Yeah.
most US.
One in Italy, it's very famous, Imola. No one actually files a trademark registration for Imola and San Marino. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm tired. So
Yeah.
I meant San Marino. My apologies.
Uh,
But no one does that anymore. So we do it via the Madrid system, because that will allow us, for example, also to do subsequent applications if our clients are willing to expand protection, maybe on a later stage. Just one point that I wanted to make was that sometimes I receive some work from your colleagues from the US, because generally filing a EU application directly and non via the Madrid system
mhm.
is a great tool for having the application examined very quickly. Because if I do file it and the application meets the what we call fast track requirements, we obtain, for example, full examination in 3 days from application. Yeah.
Well, when you say fast track, what do you need to do to qualify?
You need to have the application to follow exactly the WIPO form. So if it goes like that, and I pay fees online, for example, I draft the goods and services list, and the trademark matches the requirements. Then the application meets the fast track requirements. It goes through, and sometimes the examination procedure is incredibly fast. I mean, I'm really talking in a matter of days. I don't remember if my record was 7 or 4 or 3 days, but just days. And so it means that then the application remains published for 3 months for third parties opposition or observations.
Oh, 3 months.
And
Okay. In the United States, we have 30 days, but
yeah,
okay.
and if no opposition or are lodged, then you got the registration right away. So that might be a very interesting way to file for the European Union because it's incredibly fast. And also, as I mentioned before, managing an EU trademark registrations directly at a WIPO's level is incredibly easy, and it really lowers costs. So if I may add a comment, I would say just keep in mind that you can also try and file directly at EU level because you're already covering 27 countries with that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but English is an acceptable language, I take it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you don't have the translation fee
I
then.
generally do Italian, English. The official language are Italian, French. They're all of them. And all the trademarks are translated, also the goods, in all the 27 languages.
Who does the translations?
The office.
Oh, okay. And that's nice of them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that'll be quite a bit of
Yeah.
translation
Yeah.
fee.
Sure. Sure.
I mean, we've already been talking for a bit.
Yeah.
I would like to have you back on to discuss trademark and patent enforcement. Um, but do you have any parting words, pearls of wisdom, as far as considering protection, I guess particularly of trademarks in Europe?
Um, sure. I mean, they're generally European Union is a very crowded market. So what I see as of today is that it's very difficult to find room for new trademarks. So what I have seen recently is companies that are trying to resuscitate older trademarks somehow are already known in the public, and maybe they just need a little polishing in terms of refiling the application and go for that. And another thing that I see every day is realism when it comes to potential conflict with third parties. I mean, no one wants to litigate a lot unless someone is really an infringer of yours. As of today, sometimes it happens that some trademarks can be similar to each other. And I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs just starting talking and finding a reasonable solution to that.
All right, well, sounds great.
Yeah.
Thank you for your wonderful insight.
Thank you,
Again,
Michael.
this is all right. Well, thank you so
Thank
much to
you.
my audience. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take care.